got the news that I'm a wild one. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching VileMike and his real wild child. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching VileMike and his real wild child.
Jafar, buy an SD game swap. Creed.
There we go. I got all of them to play.
Yay!
And yes, I am in Mexico. Oh, I'll be right back for 1 second.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob. How you doing today?
Oh, I got my fresh cup of coffee. I got my second bowl. I'm not paying $2 for donuts.
No,
I went.
you know the old. Hold on. You know the old saying, "Were you born in a barn because you left the door open?" That was me. I left the door open, so I had to go open and shut the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Hey, MB, I'm gonna send you a video so you can share the screen because everybody needs to see this. Is so fucking cool.
Well, hold on. If it's the thing you sent me, I did download a version of it. So hold on.
What do you think? You're the coolest guy in the parking lot, and then.
Yeah, that was fucking cool.
And of course, the original poster gets credit for that video. That's why I left the TikTok thing at the end, so they can get credit.
Yeah, I always leave that when I share something, the little tag or little signature. Yeah, I always leave that up there. I'm not going to be an asshole like, no, this person's not getting credit for the video. No, this is who I found the video from. See the little watermark? Hello, I'm not stealing this. This credit.
Yeah. But one of the things I always thought it would be funny is to have basically a union version. Make like a Mustang or something, paint it blue with the union flag at the time, and just call it the General Grant.
Somebody already made that.
I know I've seen it, but I want to see it in a movie.
I'd actually wouldn't have a problem with seeing General Grant and the General Lee together.
And what you do is you have the Stonewall Jackson, which hits a wall at some point. You have the General Sherman, which it goes so fast at some points that the tire trails turn into fire like the DeLorean.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were going with that one.
How did I, dude?
Oh, he did, burn the South. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of loss.
I would almost, just because for those that know, my last name is Overstreet. I almost want to see a Longstreet too, just because I think he's related to us. But there was a bunch of Overstreets on both sides of the battle, or on both sides of the war. Because a lot of my family's from Texas, but they moved down from Oklahoma. So
I wanted to show you this from PopCon.
Leo?
This is with Rob Paul's the one who did Raphael, Wacko, and
Rob Paulson.
Yeah, sorry.
Not Paul.
Sorry, his name's on all the way up there at the moment. And
well, no, he's actually one of the few people that follows me on one of my platforms because I commented something he laughed at.
Oh, well, here's the video he did for me. I was like, can you do your 3 iconic voices? Let's make sure this is turned up. Okay. There you go, boys.
How you doing? This is Raphael, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, on behalf of my new best friend Jess. Now look, I think you guys all know what I look like in real life. Right? I'm dressed like this because if I had to go out in my normal handsome self, I can't. I'm like Brad freaking Pitt. All right? But I am Raphael, and you don't believe me? Shredder! You 10-faced geek! You better sure take cold turtle steel. Yeah. Now you read your words, aren't you? Like pizza. And I'm also Yakko Warner. On behalf of, again, my friend Jess, we're going to throw Wacko on the tower, and we're going to bring Jess up into the tower. Okay. Yeah, bring your own booze, Jess, will you? You're big enough to have a little taste myself. Good night, everybody. And, of course, Jess also loves Pinky and the Brain. I happen to be the stupid half, but if you really meet the brain, you realize that I am not. He's the stupid half. I am the genius. And on behalf of me and the brain, for our new best friend, Jess, Lord.
Actually, before some guy did. Oh, by the way, he still knows the song by heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got a guy. There was a kid who wanted to do a video with him, and they both were singing it, and everybody's just going with it. It's just like, God, everybody's like, he's singing the song. Somebody actually at one of the vendors said, I heard him singing the song. Now I can't get it stuck. Now I can't get it out of my head.
That's all right. I was just quickly going into his filmography. Do you know that he was actually in G.I. Joe the movie?
Yes.
Do you know who he played?
Not off the top of my head.
I would never have guessed this in a million years because I forget this
Lady
person
Hawk.
actually is
Lady
a G.I. Joe. No, he played Snow Job,
No way.
which sounds so wrong.
Yeah, I know who
Now
Snow
it
Job
does.
was.
It's like a snow job. No, thank you. I don't need a blow job in the Antarctica.
Snow Job. That's no job. No.
So I got there.
A movie I recently sold on the eBay store, Land Before Time, Journey Through the Mists, or Land Before Time 4, Journey Through the Mists. He also did the voice of Spike.
Mm-hmm.
So, but speaking of that, because I did post this week, where are you? Here we go. I'm going to play this. Let's hope I don't get copyright claimed.
You know, a lot of that was clips from the first movie. You're muted. You're muted, Mike. Still muted.
Still muted. And there he goes again. It's not a CNA stream. It's nothing goes right. Hey?
So I met the lady who voice acted April O'Neil.
Nice.
And had a very good conversation with her, you know, talking about how she was kind of the glue that held the turtles and everything together, kind of like that figure, the big sister figure. And she made a comment that, you know, her brothers used to, you know, always pick on her. But once, like, the turtles came out, she said it helped her get along with her brothers and stuff. Because
How about now?
she got to play April O'Neil in the... Okay, yeah, we can hear you. So that was good. I did get her to confirm that she is doing something as April O'Neil in an upcoming project. She couldn't tell me what. I'm assuming it has something to do with Ronin, considering that's really the big thing right now with Turtles.
Probably. Oh, speaking of animation, did you guys hear they're making a Lilo and Stitch live action too?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, it's in pre-production, and they're actually listening to fans. They are not making Stitch Makes the Glitch. It's going to be an all-new original story. I'm like, okay, I am so looking forward to this. A live-action Lilo and Stitch original story? Yes.
Maybe they're learning.
I know. I'm like, to listen to the fans finally.
Got Donnie, who now he's retired. It was funny when he said, "What's it like? What was it like being the least favorite turtle?"
He was a nerd.
And then you had so he actually, he
But okay,
voiced
sorry.
both Bebop and Donatello. Or was he Rocksteady? I think he was Rocksteady.
I'm just trying to look it up.
All right. So, as for the name of the stream, it has taken me over a year, but I finally beat Far Cry 3.
Nice. So I did get this one because it had
Yay.
it had the brain, but also because he's the original Egon. And I asked him, I said, "So how did you come up with the idea for the character?" He said, "I just played him like Harold Ramis." And I started laughing because I'm like, and Harold Ramis ended up playing Egon. He goes, "Yeah, I just modeled the guy off Harold Ramis."
Hey, we got a Canadian.
Hello. Well,
All right.
so a person who lives in Canada anyway.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
Close enough. All right, close enough for jokes. But no, here I wanted to tell the story about when I beat the game yesterday because part of it was incredibly embarrassing and funny.
Right. What game was it?
All right, I've been playing Far Cry 3 for over a year here at Mrs. Vile's house. So the only time I have a chance to play it is when I'm here.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons it's taken me over a year to actually beat the damn game. Now, there's two endings to the game, depending on what you do. There's at one point you can either kill your friends and join your love interest, or you can save your friends and your love interest dies. But what I didn't know, I of course, because of the first game and the first way I played it, I of course saved the friends, right?
Okay.
Now, the second time I go to just to see the ending, because I like when I'm playing or watching movies, I try to avoid any spoilers. So I didn't know what was going to happen if I chose the other ending.
Okay.
So I'm sitting in Mrs. Vile's bedroom playing on my TV, and her 5-year-old or 6-year-old niece is watching me play. And I do the, kill the friends ending, which doesn't really show anything, fortunately. But it immediately cuts to a sex scene with your love interest topless on top of you in a first-person point of view shot. And immediately, I'm just trying to cover her face, block the screen. I'm trying to hit the off button on the TV. It's not turning off.
Nice.
I'm just like, come on, you can't see this? It was just like, really? And of course, then we don't, because your love interest is also crazy, she immediately stabs you while you're climaxing.
Oh my God.
Hey, we got a little basic instinct going here.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's just turn off the system. But it was just like, I was not expecting that. I mean, there was a sex scene earlier in the game, but I wasn't expecting there to just jump right into another one for this final scene of the game.
Surprise!
Oops.
Guy didn't know if he was coming or going.
He was doing both.
At the same time, ouch.
So here we go. We got Leonardo.
So my big joke is I finally beat Far Cry 3, and the only other Far Cry I've ever beaten is Far Cry 1. Let's see. Since then, Far Cry, there's been like 11 Far Cry games since 3 came out. Because you got the Bloodborne, or whatever it's called, the Blood Dragons. You got 4, 5, 6, and a couple of other little ones, including remakes and stuff like that. But I'm just like, well, I've got 2 down, 15 to go. Yeah, one of my clients Oh, sorry, but one of my clients actually gave me a copy of Far Cry 2 just so I could try to beat it.
And the last one I got was Raphael for the Turtles, and I got everybody, and then April. Since Dandelion's from Canada, she should appreciate I got
Lives in Canada.
Lives in Canada. Yeah.
Can't see what that is, dude.
Yeah, I can't tell.
It's Wolverine.
Oh, it's Gambit and Wolverine. I see it.
Oh.
When he lit his claws, cool.
Yeah.
When he charged his claws, that was cool.
Yeah, and I asked him about when they came back with X-Men 97. He's like, I was like, did you go? He goes, I'm not letting anybody else play that character. Like, I'm freaking Wolverine. And then I did meet the guy who plays Beast.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually did meet
I can't see that, dude.
Jean Grey.
Oh,
Famke Jensen.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. She still looks nice. I asked her about the cameos. She's like, I was like, did you know what was going on? She goes, no, honestly, I didn't. She's like, I got killed off twice. And then I get in the camp. It's like I find out we're gonna do cameos for the Wolverine, and then she finds out about the cameo and X. And I was like, oh, and I said I had to ask her about that show she did. This is back when Netflix first started doing series. They started with House of Cards, and then they had Hemlock Grove, which I watched. She goes, did you like it? I said, honestly, I didn't know what the hell was going on. She goes, yeah, neither did we. She's like, yeah. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, we were the second show to come out on Netflix. It was like, we started out doing one thing one year, and the next year something changed, and the next year something changes. Like, we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Well, Netflix was a very, that was very early in the Netflix thing. I mean, I've been with Netflix since they were mailing you DVDs.
Oh, yes.
So I've been with Netflix.
Oh, yeah, so was I. I remember
when Netflix used to be commercial free. Now you got to pay for be extra to have commercial free. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on.
But yeah, she's great. She's actually doing she's actually going to be doing a Netflix show. I forgot what she said it was called. Something Empire. Anyway, so I guess the basic premise is she says it's going to be kind of a war on the roses. Her husband screws her over, and her idea is to take over his entire empire. So I'm like, ooh. I was like, a little revenge. She's like, think War of the Roses. I'm like, ooh, I actually like War of the Roses. The movie, not the war.
Obviously, we gotcha.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. So yeah, it was nice to go there. Everybody was, awesome, friendly. The panel with the turtles and everything was just awesome. They said because of all the iterations that had come out, fans had been requesting them to be brought out. So that's why they're getting everybody invited. Also found out a couple of different ways how they work. So in the Turtles, everybody was on the same sound stage together. But when they did X-Men, they were all in different parts of the country just doing their lines.
Yeah, that's what Greg Proops said when he was doing Bob the Builder. They would fly him to LA. He would go to England to do a recording session, hang out for a day or two, then they'll fly him back. I'm like, he loved doing that. It's like, yeah, for your trip to London. I loved it. Yeah, and they have recording studios in LA, but they wanted to fly him to England to do the voice. I'm like, hey, he didn't care.
I get paid and I get per diem to go to England.
Yeah, he loved it.
All right, so you guys were telling me I should watch Once Upon a Time, remember?
Yes.
So this week, while working and stuff, I've finally finished the first season, so don't give me spoilers beyond the first season. I still don't know if I like this show or not after an entire season.
Wait till
Because,
season 2.
well, as of right now, I don't get everyone's motivations.
Yeah, they become clear in season 2.
Yeah, season 2 is when everything
Yeah.
gets clear.
Yeah, keep an eye on Mr. Gold.
Oh yeah.
Well, they
They
already
actually
introduced
film
him
that
as
where I
the
go
Beast,
hiking.
so he's apparently the Beast.
I know, but keep an eye on him for season 2.
Gaston is a good guy, essentially. I mean, it's only in a single flashback, but I'm assuming that means he'll come back as another character. Belle's father is a dick.
Oh yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
I think they film that like where I go hiking, like the castle with the lake. That's actually Alouette Lake.
Oh wow!
Nice.
So I'm just like, I don't know. As I said, I don't know if I like it yet or not. I'm still, for a large portion of it, I was still debating whether the storybook stuff was all in the kid's head and it's just, you know, the flashbacks were like a parallel storyline just to show examples of what's going on in the real world, showing that, you know, events repeat themselves.
Just get to.
I've actually never seen the show.
But of course, in the end of season 1, everyone gets their memories back, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely real."
Yeah, that was the way they wanted to play it out until the season finale. Like, oh, it's actually a real thing. It's not just a kid going mental.
Mm-hmm.
That was the
But
whole
it's also
thing.
like, I don't understand some of the changes they're making to the characters.
Some of the characters are a combination of other of combined characters. Like one character
is the Beast and
a
the
combination of the Peter Pan and the Pied Piper.
Well, they haven't gotten into that yet, so
no,
that's season 3, dude.
3, I think season 3 or 4.
But they already killed off one main character, so I don't know, and it was the main character's love interest, so I don't know if that means other characters are going to die soon. I still don't know if Rumpelstiltskin is going to end up as a good guy or not, because it looks like he might.
Keep watching.
Like they're setting up a massive redemption arc with Belle. I said no spoilers, please.
I never watched that show, but I know my sister enjoyed it.
But certain things, like if you were to like plot out a family tree, with knowing that, you know, the teacher's Snow White, the other guy is Prince Charming, the sheriff is their son or their daughter, Snow White's stepmother, which you could argue is still her stepmother,
Regina,
shares a child in the Snow White's grandson. That just it opens up the whole "I am my own grandpa" song right there.
please not sing like Tom Arnold.
No, second season is when things really start to pick up with that. Yeah, well, I will tell you one thing. Like I said, certain characters, you wonder why certain ones are acting the certain way. Like I said, some of them are a combination of multiple characters.
Well, I kind of thought, because I did get like 1 or 2 episodes into season 2, but I kind of thought that Snow White was also going to be Sleeping Beauty, but I guess I'm wrong there.
Yeah.
Based on the first episode of season 2. I do like the idea of Red Riding Hood being a werewolf. I think that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But like, well, what was one of the ones that bugged me? I'm trying to remember now. The Mad Hatter. I mean, his entire motivation is to meet up with it, or to reclaim his daughter essentially. And then as soon as he can, he doesn't, and that bugs me. Instead, he tries to do his own villainous arc for like half an episode, which made no sense to me.
Wait until they start intermixing non-grim fairy tales.
Yeah.
Well, they already have,
That
because
was-
Mad Hatter's Lewis Carroll.
No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Besides Lewis Carroll.
Yeah.
What else? I'm trying to think of who else is already. And okay, so Rumpelstiltskin isn't based on any primarily Disney character as Rumpelstiltskin, but they have him as the Beast, which I don't know if I like that aspect. Maybe if they had given him more of a makeup job, other than just like stone skin looking thing or warty skin or whatever the heck they have when he's in makeup.
Goldstone paint.
Every time I show one of those, I want to make a bread bowl.
Chowder bowl. They're called chowder bowls, dude.
Well, they're bread bowls.
They're chowder bowls.
You don't have to put chowder in them. That's why.
Put mushroom soup in there or spinach soup. I actually really like a cheese and spinach soup.
I prefer chowder bowls.
I'd like to just do a simple beef, carrot, and potato stew.
I was going to say that would be a really large bowl. Like it's a pretty big loaf. It would make more sense to make that into 4 smaller loaves, maybe, and make the bowl that way.
I'm a big guy. I could eat it.
Yeah, it's not so much can you, as much as should you.
Should you? So, and the answer to that is definitely no. I shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean that might explain the big guy thing. No judgment, no shade.
Oh no, part of it, and this bugs Mrs. Vile all the time because I'll tend not to eat all day until dinner.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not a good thing for, eating essentially.
I can't do that.
Neither can I.
I know one thing.
Sugar would be all over the place if I tried to do that.
I know one thing. This is going to be interesting going to my draining tomorrow. This is going to be the first time I'm going to go in with less weight than when I came out with.
Woohoo!
Well, I got drained and I was down to 201. And I stepped on the scale this morning before I went to church and I was 198. I was like, well, that's the first I've ever seen it me not gain weight.
I like to stick around 165 to 170.
Dude, I haven't been this. Look, man, I've got double XLs and I've got triple XLs. I threw all my XLs out, and I could probably fit in a couple of them, but I'm not going. What's up, honey? Okay, are we picking anything up for lunch? Okay, you got me one of those sandwich things.
Sandwich peas.
Let's go to the Baslers.
Yeah, make it funny, dude.
Can we go to the Baslers and get
No.
them? You want to come with? Okay.
No, I don't want to come with.
So, as I said, I just don't know if I like it or not. I still didn't finish My Hero Academia, but it's just because the last arc was just this massive fight that took place over like the last 12 episodes, and it looks like they're going to go directly into another one, and I just don't have the wherewithal to want to deal with massive fight scene after massive fight scene. It doesn't make sense. I want to see some character development first.
What was have you actually watched any of that what was it, Ironheart?
I'm supposed to do a roundtable later today.
I haven't got the confirmation time. I was about to ask you that, Dandelion.
I actually quite enjoyed it.
No, did you find a confirmation time? Because I never got a notification yet.
Shit. Hang on, let me check. I think Anzo told me what time it was at. Just a second. Maybe he didn't tell me what time it is. Oh, he just said that it was going to be about an hour before the wrap up because he doesn't want it to go too long. So what time does the wrap up start?
At 5:30.
So it's probably going to start around like 4 or 4:30, I'm guessing. Yeah. Hopefully maybe around 4. That's going to be a huge, I know it's only going to go for like, 4 weeks or something?
No, next week is the last 3 episodes.
Oh, so just the 2 weeks. Perfect. That's fantastic. I'm so happy because I don't hate going on roundtables, but it's a huge time suck.
Yeah, especially at the time frame of like 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. That's dinner time, man. I'm like, what the hell?
What am I going to eat? Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be eating. I'm going to be eating when I'm on the wrap up. I'll you know what? While you guys are doing What the Dub, I'll probably eat something then because I never come up with something.
Well, I'm not going to be able to play today because me and Mrs. Vile have a date night scheduled.
Ooh, nice.
We're going to go. We're going to be seeing a band that she really wants to watch.
That's great.
Which is, I'm trying to. Okay, it's Los Pink Cheese Gringos.
Los.
No, Los.
Oh.
Los Pink Cheese Gringos. But it's GREEN space GOES. But it's supposed to sound like Gringos.
Right.
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And pink cheese, like pink cheese?
Yeah, pink cheese.
Yeah.
Pink. Yeah.
And I guess they're a Mexican-American parody band thing.
Who are they parodying?
I have no idea. But Mrs. Vile wanted to go, and the ticket, if you got the tickets early enough, they were cheap. So we're going to go see it.
That's nice. It's always fun to go see live music.
So, and it starts at 7, but we're going to cross the border probably a little early.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm just going to miss everything today.
So
that's right. Real life is pretty important to do.
So, Mike, I have a question. With all this, how do you not speak fluent Spanish yet?
Soy estúpido.
With all this, MB, how do you not speak fluent English yet?
Because I'm American, fucker. I speak 2 languages, really bad English and sarcasm.
I prefer the Corbin Dallas quote. I only speak 2 languages, English and bad English.
Yeah. I don't even speak. Yeah, the problem is we just speak bad English. Although I do think the Brits say some shit very weird.
How do they say some shit? Some shit?
No, I think they say
or some shit.
Shite.
What do they say?
Yeah, they say shite. I'm like, why do you need an E in shit?
Or lieutenant?
No, they're not.
It's sort of like saying frack instead of fuck.
Yeah, but frack is actually the whole point of saying frack was popularized by Battlestar.
Yeah, but it's the same idea. You're not supposed to say, if you're not supposed to swear, they make up a variation of the swear word.
Yeah, I know.
Frack.
And some people will say shit, but shite is the more like, it's not proper, but it's like, it's just
the
more
proper way to curse.
It's a colloquialism.
Yeah, the proper way to curse.
Then again, Britain is the same country that uses a particular word that women in America will beat your ass for.
Well, different words have different meaning, different connotations culturally.
One of the things I think is funny is the whole difference between. Sorry, I'm going to bring him up, even though make sure that's you first.
Yeah, it's me, Mike.
Okay, just making sure.
Physically or mentally?
I'm going to boot you real quick if it wasn't actually you.
Physically or mentally?
But the funniest one for me is the word fanny.
Fanny?
Because in
the name.
In the UK, fanny means the front part, in the United States, the fanny means the back part.
Yeah.
And fanny is also a name.
Guys, and young lady, I've got to tell you, my wife and I, we went to see 28 Years Later. It's basically a zombie nudist camp on steroids. And that's all I'm going to say about it. It is insane. I've never seen so many naked bodies that are zombies running the place in the Scottish Highlands and up in Northumbria in England.
Okay. Why are you looking up men's kilts?
And if it's in Scotland, it's not in England. It's in Scotland.
It's in
And why
Scotland.
are you looking up the men's kilts?
There are no kilts. They aren't wearing kilts. That's the whole problem. They're supposed to be in the Scottish Highlands, but when I checked the credits at the end, it said Northumbria. So I was assuming that's still in England, right? Not in Scotland.
No, that would still be the UK, but it wouldn't be England.
Yeah, it's in the UK.
No.
That's like saying, "Oh, I'm in Las Vegas, California."
Yeah, exactly. You're right about that, Mike. Yeah.
Which is funny because in Fallout New Vegas, California is trying to take over New Vegas. So that would make that actually is kind of funny.
Apparently, Northumbria sort of spans between England and Scotland. It's on the south border of Scotland, the northern border of England.
Okay,
so
thank you, Dandelion. Because there's this causeway. I'm trying not to spoil it for you guys and lady, if you get a chance to see it.
Is it the Devil's Causeway?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah,
it's one that with low
you can
tide,
do that.
You can walk. Yeah, low tide, you can just basically walk across it. And then at high tide, and you're basically treading water. Is it going through?
You've got to check.
Yeah, so it's on that
I have to boogie because I got to go and do a million things today before that streamathon I'm stuck on tonight. I mean, not stuck on, but I'm doing tonight. So
I got to boogie.
Yeah, I will catch you all later. Have a good
night.
Take care.
And hey guys, I'm gonna check out early myself. I need to go eat. All right, guys. Take care. Catch you next week, guys.
All righty, later.
Mr. Geek.
Bye, Bob.
I'll tell you something, Elihu and Vile. The same guy that directed the first two, 28 Days Later and then 28 Weeks Later, tried to get 28 months out, but that never worked. So they just decided to wait all this time to put out this new one. It's still Danny Boyle that's directing, right? The guy from Trainspotting. But I'm telling you guys, this whole thing was complete zombies throughout. So there was no lack of action, no lack of tension. It even had Ray Fine in it. Okay, so you tell me how he went from Mallory in James Bond to being some sort of doctor that's left alive from the whole rage virus, and he's the only one that's sane enough to put down a lady who is still completely healthy, has no rage virus, but does have cancer, and then burns them alive, takes their whole skull and puts it in a bunch of skulls and stuff. There's like trees that are decorated like Christmas trees.
I can tell you why.
Yeah.
Lazy writers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, lazy writers. That's your answer, man.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, it was so bizarre. Like, I don't know, man. I think you would have walked out after depending on how crazy it was, probably after about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
The next movie,
it's almost 2 hours long. Yeah, it's almost 2 hours long.
The next movie I plan on seeing in the theaters is Superman Legacy. I have seen every Superman movie except for Superman v Batman in the theater.
Yeah,
ever since I was a kid. So I'm not going to break that tradition. I'm not going to watch it online. I'm going to watch it in the theater first.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing with Superman and Crypto. I was watching it in a theater. Actually, I hope to watch it in one of those Ultra VX theaters that have better sound, better surround sound, and better, clear, sharper contrast. We have those here in one of our what they call a Cineplex Odeon here in Scarborough. Ontario. So yeah, we're definitely going to Superman.
I have a choice to pay $17 to see it in IMAX, high def, all the fancy shit, or I could pay $12 to see it on the regular screen with closed caption. I'd rather see it on regular screen with closed caption because I actually want to hear what's going on the screen and pay attention, not the crowd screaming and cheering.
Screaming and cheering whenever crypto shows up. Yeah, I get that.
I want to see what's going on the screen, so I want to hear this. I want to pay attention to the movie.
Hey,
It's
no,
Superman.
I give that up to you. I think that's very commendable. I mean, like I said, if all they have left, either on opening day, which I believe is still July 11th, correct? So if they don't have a regular theater and the only thing they got left is the Ultra VX, we're going to see that in the Ultra. So
yeah, I qualified for the I qualified for the regular the Amazon Prime special thing. And it was $30. I'm like, no, thank you. Yeah. Then a couple days later, James Gunn offered a special deal. You get this comic book T-shirt, this other thing, right, for an extra $30. So the total price would have been $60. I'm like, sorry, James, I still can't afford that shit. I'm like, wow.
Wow. Yeah. What's your next port of call as far as movies there, VileMike? What are you going to go see?
I have no idea right now. I got so many things that I've got a backlog for that. Like I finally finished Daredevil, Born Again.
Yay.
I still haven't watched Echo yet. I got to watch Ironheart, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds season 3. I mean, plus now I'm watching. We were talking about it earlier. Once Upon a Time, which I guess not only did it last 7 seasons, there's like a dozen spin-offs or so.
Yeah. You know what series I found? The hidden series I found? Tulsa King with Sly Stallone. You gotta see that. At least
I've seen clips.
Try to catch up and see it. You can. They have recaps all over YouTube that give you every single season up to now, up to like the season 4. Yeah.
You know, I've never seen the show 12 Monkeys, and I started watching it. I'm on episode 3 right now. I'm like,
that is so
okay,
insane.
this is a long arc of the movie, but I'm actually kind of digging it a little bit.
12 Monkeys, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Yeah, I love the movie with Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt. I love the movie. And the show is like, okay, it's an expansion of this. I'm kind of digging it. It's
not bad. It's an expansion of the universe. It's the whole thing. Yeah, I'm kind of cool with that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. They don't show it very often up here in Canada, though, unfortunately. But whenever I get a chance, I definitely check it out. I've definitely seen it. Yeah.
Because I didn't know Cat Stashwick was in 12 Monkeys until he was on Picard. I'm like, who the hell is this Kathy? He's an asshole. He's a good actor. I looked him up like, 12 Monkeys. I didn't see him in the movie. Oh, there's a TV show called 12 Monkeys? Oh, okay. Didn't think anything of it. I read the premise like, okay, it's a TV show based on the movie. Yada, yada, yada. And I watched Picard. I'm like, okay, this guy's a really good actor. He's a prick. What the hell? I love this guy now.
Exactly. I don't know if you guys have heard the rumor already, but in regards to James Bond, since Broccoli and Wilson don't own the franchise in a majority anymore, Amazon already got their director for the next film. It's going to be the guy that did both of the Dunes Part 1 and 2 reboot, the Denis Villeneuve is how he pronounces it. Now, here was the thing I was really scared about. Since they got the need to do the next film, who's going to be your next choice for James Bond? And the guy that he's always worked with so far is Timothy Chalamet, who did Wonka, which we have.
Remember this. Dame Judy Gents, she said 007 is not a name, it's a title. Okay? Right. So anybody can play 007. You can't play James Bond, but they can play 007.
Yeah, I get that, but I'd rather it be a male, not a female. Sorry. Title is one thing, but it's got to be a British or Scottish male with an ample backstory, and that's fine. You had parents that died in a climbing accident, and you know what? I was really happy with the Daniel Craig storyline of how, a guy like Christopher Waltz, who became Blofeld in those last two films, actually, I dug the story. I thought I thought it made actually pretty good sense because Bond is the loner. We all know that. After his parents died and whatever, and in a way, Christopher Waltz's Blofeld grew up pretty much the same way as a loner because he kills his dad and who practically raised James, his half brother, and and then goes with all that. And I was totally cool with that. I was totally cool with that, and I said okay. And so when he goes into the prison, he kills him in is it yes? No, is it No Time to Die? Yeah, No Time to Die. So when he goes in there in prison and kills him in No Time to Die, and says he just says it's one of my favorite lines in the film. It's like he's in there, he's got Blofeld where he wants him, but Blofeld still has the upper hand, and all he just has to say, Bond all has to say is die, 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 and he does because the virus that Rami Malek created is on him. And he does, and until he says his last die, he doesn't even realize it. And then he's killed him, like right in prison, the very last Spectre agent or leader or whoever. So yeah, that is really insane, but it's cool. I mean, I just love the whole concept of it, and it makes you wonder about past Bonds, with Blofeld relationship and everything. You kind of think about that. You're like, huh. Why was the Blofeld was always one step ahead? And I'm like, well, if they were brothers, and of course Blofeld being the older half brother, it makes perfect sense. It really does, and it just shows you how much smarter he was as a megalomaniac than he was. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. It is, but it's cool. Yeah, I love it. I told you guys I'm a James Bond fanatic. I own all the films except.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is my roommate's first husband, who passed away a number of years ago, he was also a James Bond fan. And one of the things that she does is, even though he's passed, she keeps buying the movies as they come out to add to his collection.
She
doesn't watch them, but she still buys them.
Yeah, but like I said, up until a certain amount of time ago, Never Say Never Again, which was Connery's last, was not considered canon. And I said, that's bullshit. It's two different. The way I look at it is it's two different alternate Bond universes. One that is current, which was, obviously Roger Moore with Octopussy later on in the year. And before that, when it was Never Say Never Again, it was just an alternate universe. That's all it was. And people got double the fun because they got the man who started it all, followed by the man who followed him, and of course Lazenby's somewhere in there, but it's weird. But the point is that it was just, getting to see Connery for the last time do it was just so cool. And then finally, before the merger, Broccoli and Wilson both agreed it's canon. It is. It should be in the official Bond library, all hooked up, everything there. And I agreed. And I'm part of that worldwide Bond, fan club around the world. And I agree completely. And unfortunately, well, that's the only one I don't have so far. It's so hard to find. It really is. I've tried everything. I've tried Amazon. I've tried, online services, streaming, to maybe try to get it to stream so I can play it. YouTube doesn't even have complete, parts of it. It has scene here, scene there, but it doesn't have the entire film. I hope I can find it one day because I would really love to have that film. Really just to have it. So I know I've got them all. So, yeah.
Well, question. Do you count Barry Nelson's James Bond as one of them, or you still consider that also alternate universe?
I'd say that's alternate universe because, for two reasons. One, because when Ian Fleming first wrote the books, it was understood that he was a British agent or could have been Scottish, either way. The thing is that Fleming knew Brits and Scots as agents for the OSS and whatever. So he knew these people. So it kind of made not much sense that it was an American. However, Fleming did mention in the earlier novels that Felix Leiter would be the equivalent of Bond in the Secret Service, right, in MI6. So it stands to reason if you had an American agent like a James Bond, except it's in America, and Barry Nelson played it. I played it wonderfully, but I think the more awesome performance is obviously Peter Lorre as Le Chiffre. Gotta say, even for black and white back then, he is menacing.
Well, it was actually color, but all the surviving prints are black and white.
Yeah, right. Some prints are black and white, right. The one in color, well, either way, like I said, Peter Lorre, perfect. So if you got him as the European villain, well, then I guess, like I said, in an alternate universe, Jimmy Bond is an American agent. So,
well, what's funny is I've been on a kick of downloading various movies that have hit the public domain, and that version of Casino Royale was one of the ones that I downloaded, and I still haven't watched, but it's on my computer.
You need to watch it.
Well, I watched it a long time ago, but we're talking like 20 some odd years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
In fact, me and Mrs. Vile started watching The Highlander yesterday. And the only reason was because the first one. And that's because in another country it became public domain, so I was able to download it. Actually, Highlander 2 and one of the newer Highlander movies was also deemed public domain in that country. So, but it's an animated film.
Yeah,
so I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, but Mike, do you still enjoy that part where Clancy Brown's standing on top of the precipice there? He's already killed Ramirez, played by Connery, and he says, "I can be all there was." I'm like, "Oh man, yeah." I'm like,
well, right now, we only watched like the first 40 minutes because we were waiting to pick up her brother from work because his car's in the shop.
Yeah,
and we were just killing time, and I was telling her about how the whole funny story of you have Christopher Lambert, who's a Frenchman, playing a Scotsman.
Yes.
You have a Sean Connery, a Scotsman, playing an Egyptian, cosplaying as a Spaniard.
Right.
And then you have Clancy Brown, an American, playing an ancient Babylonian.
Yeah,
Pardon me.
I mean, I've seen all the Highlander films, including the one where Adrian Paul comes in. Like after watching the Highlander series, right?
Okay,
I've seen every episode of that. So on cable when I had cable TV.
Yeah, back in the day I saw it, but that was the only thing that she'd seen of Highlander is Highlander the series.
Yeah.
So she had forgotten all about Christopher Lambert's Connor MacLeod, and just thinks of it as Duncan MacLeod. But here's the thing: one of the ones I did watch via, I think it was like Pluto or one of the free streaming services.
Yeah,
they had Highlander: The Source. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I think so. Parts of it, not the whole
okay,
thing.
That's one of the reasons why I was, I even looked up for Highlander because they had that one.
Right.
What the hell was wrong? Like, who wrote and decided that Highlander: The Source needed to be made?
I don't know, and I wish it didn't.
Because
Highlander 2 should never be considered canon. I'm sorry, they're not aliens, okay?
No. It's not even that. We're talking about Highlander: The Source.
The Source.
You're talking about Highlander: The Quickening.
Yeah, you're talking about The Quickening. The Quickening is totally
because The Source, basically, you find out that all the immortal stuff occurs because of a planetary alignment, which happens after the series. And I guess as of right now, it's the last movie in the series or the franchise.
Right.
And it's okay. So immortals can't have kids. That's one of the big things they talk about.
Absolutely.
And the movie ends. Sorry for giving spoilers to a movie no one really cares about. Where Duncan MacLeod actually fathers a child. because of the power of the source. And they basically indicate that his child is going to be the epitome or the actual one. You know, there can be only one. That his child will be the one for the immortals.
Wow.
And it's just like, and the big bad of the film is apparently like this really old immortal known as the Guardian. And I'm just like, his whole power is the power of stop motion speed up camera effects.
Harry
It was so fucking cringe to watch, and to know that movie was made in what, 2015. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
While you look it up, I want to ask Mike a question.
Yeah.
What do you think about Henry Cavill being Connor, Russell Crowe being Juan Sanchez Valdez Ramirez, and Chad Stahelski as the new director of the Highlander remake?
Oh yeah, the Highlander reboot.
Yeah,
I like
reboot. Sorry,
I've always liked Henry Cavill, so you know what? I don't have an issue with him. And if he wants to do that rather than spend the rest of his life playing Superman, I'm totally fine with that.
Or video games.
I wish he could have been James Bond. Well, I'm just saying, I wish Henry Cavill could have tried out for James Bond. He might have got it, but he's got his choices. I don't.
Not since cocking his arms and growing that beard in the pocket. No.
No.
Okay.
No. That was just rebellious. That was just rebellious what he did with that. Because remember, you didn't have that in Fallout, which was the very last Mission Impossible I saw. That was even worth watching. So All
right. So sorry. Let me go back because I did look it up. It's actually 2007. That's when it came out. I thought it was much newer than that because I had never heard of it before.
No, it's in the legacy. I mean, it's in the whole thing, but it really should have never been made because it's impossible. Like you said, it's impossible for immortal. Like you remember in the very first Highlander, here he is with a Scottish woman in the Highlands. He's got his kilt on, everything else like that. And so you think he's a typical guy, but then you find out, well, of course, there was a clan battle and he didn't die. So then immediately they thought he was, a warlock or some, weird ass thing. And, these two have been together a while. So, yeah, I'm sure they tried to have babies, but they couldn't. So,
But here's the thing. The effects in this movie were so freaking bad. And I'm going to give you a list of some movies that also came out in 2007.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
That's great.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Shrek the Third. The Michael Bay Transformers movie, the first one. Ratatouille. I Am Legend. Simpsons movie. National Treasure Book of Secrets. 300. Oh my freaking God. And this movie had some of the shittiest special effects I have ever seen. Some of the worst green screening. Like, they want to show the world as kind of like a Mad Max apocalypse type thing. Because apparently it's supposed to take place far in the future. And
now I got to mention this again one more time about 28 years later, and then I'm done. If you get a chance to see it, please take at least one view of it. And then if you hate it and you never want to see it again, I don't blame you. I really honestly don't blame you. But there's a few scenes in there which I think might be CGI, and actually they're just more visual effects. And the fight scenes with the zombies, especially with the bow and arrow, not so mentioning there's no guns, there's a few, but it's just army gun shit. Okay, normal, MK, whatever they use, But anyway, getting back to the effects. The effects are still great because Danny Boyle doesn't like to use CGI. Now, there's probably one or two scenes where it's animals, okay? One scene has like deer that are running across the fields, but too numerous to mention. Because obviously this virus has killed off human beings, but hasn't affected animals. So these animals are running across the plain, and it looks like CGI, and there's so many of them. But that's just one instance. The only other instance is there is a bunch of zombies, and there was probably maybe 10 at most that were, dressed to the nines in a zombie type of outfit. So they had to multiply them when they were coming over the hill and starting to chase people. And other than that, like I said, everything else was great practical effects, great visual effects. I'm telling you, the thing that'll give you the most chills, and you've probably seen it in the trailer, is those Christmas tree-like structures that were put together with just human skulls. And that just shows you, over that period of time.
Hold on. On that note, we're going to take a small break from our sponsor.
All right.
Avoid super battle droids, but not the super deals at SD GameSwap.
There you go.
All right.
Did you tell me before, Mike, how you were able to snag Bernard Bolin from the Mandalorian to do that?
He was doing a live stream for Anti-Trekker at the time, and I donated money to have him make that for me.
Nice.
That's actually how I got all three of them. I don't think it wasn't Anti-Trekker where I got Simone's, but it was somebody else's live stream.
Yeah.
And the fact that they said yes was, fantastic. It's been 10 years. I'm still using them. Those are just the updated ones where I decided to add their credits because I wanted to make sure that they got the credit for actually doing them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So far, now you guys have already heard the rumor about Spaceballs too, right? They're going to do that in 2027.
I still love the fact that Rick Moranis said no to Ghostbusters, but yes to Mel Brooks.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, you see where his priorities lie, Elihu.
The last thing he actually did when he came out of retirement was a Sprint commercial with Ryan Reynolds.
Well,
or not Sprint.
Jewish, right?
Whatever his not Sprint, whatever his mobile company is called. I forgot what it's called, Spirit or whatever.
I think it's one kind Jew, who Moranis is, to the Brooks, who is the ultimate Jew in my book. I mean, it makes total sense. I mean, he loves the man. I mean, he'll do anything for this guy. Dark Helmet, believe it or not, is one of the funniest parodies of a villain in recent movie history. And we're talking, 38 years ago, So, I mean, it's just, it's funny. He's great. And, he was in isolation for a while. And, unfortunately, somebody attacked him on the street or mugged him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was out of circulation for a while. But I am so glad. You know what? I'm glad of the three that are coming back to do it. I really enjoy Bill Pullman. To me, Bill Pullman is a very underrated actor. He's done a lot of other great films. I really think that's great. He's going to come back and play Lone Star. Daphne Zuniga, oh my gosh, she's, she doesn't have to be pretty. She can be talented. She's got the talent. So she can easily play Princess Vespa. I love her coming back. And like I said, Rick Moranis coming back as Dark Helmet is going to be funny as hell for me. And I know, the guy that was talking about the bleeps and all that stuff with the Raspberry Jam, Michael Winslow of the BlueSky franchise. I'm actually friends with him, loose friends with him on YouTube, and he's got his own channel. I'm going to ask this man, look, tell me point blank, unless you're held to secrecy, are you going to come back for Spaceballs too?
Tim Russ won't even say anything. He's like, yes, I am, or yes, I got off the part. I know I did. And I'm like, dude, stop giving us tickets around. Yes, I know, Tim. Did you find shit?
Yeah, because if he says, I still haven't found shit, that would be awesome.
I know. Thank you. I'm like, stop taking this around, dude. Come on. Are you going to be in Spaceballs too?
If Tim Russ is in it, I want him to do the quote, or at least allude to the meme. 7 years on Star Trek, Star Trek 6. I've been in this film, this series, and I'm most famous for saying, "We ain't found shit."
Shit. Yeah, him and that little sand with the comb. Yeah, that's funny when he was doing that.
Yeah, but like I said, Mike, if he does say all those things, that's awesome. But I still want him to say, we still haven't found shit.
Well, I want Robert Downey Jr. and or Benedict Cumberbatch to say to one another, no shit, Sherlock. They missed the opportunity in Phase 4.
Oh yeah.
This has
Well,
to
now
be
that
done.
Doctor Doom
Come on.
Robert Downey's coming back for Doctor Doom, they could easily do it too.
Yeah, Doom can
Like,
say no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
It's like you might have magic, Doom, but I'm the magic, or I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. No shit, Sherlock.
Wong is so supreme.
I am looking forward to Fantastic Four First Steps. I really am, because I kind of see what Downey's going to do with Victor Von Doom. Really, honest to God, even if I only get one shot at it to watch it, and maybe it's a piece of crap, at least I want to see what they're going to do in with the whole backstory. All this.
Doom is not going to be First Steps. It's most likely going to be an end credit scene to advance the next movie like they always do.
Oh, okay. So he's
Yeah,
not going
more
to
than
be
likely.
actual...
No. If Doom is not supposed to be in the movie, it's supposed to be the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, and Galactus, and the Mole Man. That's only supposed to be the main villains in the villains in the movie. Doom, if he's going to appear, it'll be most likely end credit scene, like they always carry on to the next preview, the next movie. So I predict that Doom's going to be in the end credit scene.
Well, they also mentioned recently, I did see this in one of my feeds, that what's his name playing King the Conqueror is supposed to come back too. How do you guys feel about them bringing back the King the Conqueror storyline?
Yeah, I'm okay with Kang, but if they're going to do that, they're going to have to have him in Secret Wars.
We'll see. I just wanted, because I know a lot of people were upset by it, apparently. But I'm going to Jaloja real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Gee, I'm the only one who's not muted. That means I get to talk to myself. It is okay to talk to yourself, just as long as you're not involved with a third party.
Well, here, I can do this for you, just so you don't have to talk to yourself.
You're doing it all wrong. You gotta give the driver a little incentive. Like this.
I miss George Carlin.
I know.
All right, so yeah. Okay, so I had someone on TikTok like the video, save the video, and was talking about buying the game. But I was like, did you watch the whole thing? And he's like, no, I just like the movie and I like the game. And I'm like, oh, watch the whole thing. And his next comment is just a bunch of laughing emojis.
I noticed you used some parts of Zombieland there too.
Well, that was because I'm showing off the game I have for sale, which is Zombieland Double Tap.
I need to get some more coffee. Not your back.
Yeah, I do love the game. Both and the both the Zombieland films. I hope they make a third one. Damn it, I want them to make a third one. I am demanding it. I want Woody Harrelson back for a third one.
I wouldn't mind a third one.
Yeah.
A third one, nipple?
Well, now that he's married, and the thing is, after Double Tap, right, he married Rosario Dawson's character, and she's a badass. I definitely would love to have both of them come back. Definitely would.
But
I don't
as
know.
of right now, I don't think there's any chance in hell of there being a sequel for various reasons.
Yeah. But if there was somebody with a vision and said, we got to complete the trilogy because you've only done 2 films and you got to do a third, at least a third. And I'm thinking, okay, here's my personal choices. I want Woody Harrelson to come back. I want Rosario Dawson to come back. Hell, I want the younger. Damn it! What is the name of that actress? The younger actress that matured, and I don't want the peace. I'm glad she's not with peace loving, hippie dude, whatever.
Yeah,
but she's on her own. Shit.
Abigail Breslin.
Yeah, Breslin. Okay, so I want Abigail. Right? That's right. Yeah, Abigail. So I want Abigail Breslin to come back. I even want her to come back. But the one person I do not want to come back because he's played out, you know who I'm talking about.
Bill Murray?
No, Jesse Eisenberg. Get him the fuck out. I don't want this man back. Not if you're gonna do 3, keep Jesse out of there. Or if you put him in a cameo appearance, I'm fine with that. But don't have him in the whole freaking film.
So I decided to look it up. Apparently, the director, Fleischer, has said that he doesn't know if he can get the whole cast to return or not for a third movie.
Right.
But he stated that what he really wants to do is a third movie based around the Madison character. From the second movie. And I'm just like, I would love to see, a comedic take where she just accidentally kills zombies all over the place, gets this reputation for being a Billy Badass, and it turns out that she's just incredibly lucky.
Oh yeah, the actress that played Madison, that blonde bimbo bitch. Oh my god, yes.
That would be hilarious. Like,
oh my god, yes.
Like you remember in True Lies where Jamie Lee Curtis's character drops the machine gun and it just happens to shoot everyone around her husband, including somehow the guy standing behind him.
Yes.
That would be hilarious. Like she tries to lift this giant minigun, can't pick it up, immediately drops it on its trigger, and it just mows down all the zombies until it runs out of ammo, and she's just like, oh well.
But wait, I can make it even funnier. Kills all the zombies except for a Homer.
Mm-hmm.
And the Homer would be the last one and bites her neck or some shit. And I'm like, oh man, that would be fucking great. That would conclude it for me. The Homer getting the blonde bimbo. Oh man. And because they kill him. It's so sad. At the end of Double Tap, they, the last one, of course they go, Homer, and he goes off by himself to kill himself. Oh, come on. The Homer's not that stupid. Let's have him a little bit advanced, and she mows down everybody else, but can't get to the Homer.
I'm sorry. When you guys say that, I have no idea what you're talking about. When you guys say that statement, I think of The Simpsons. Ned Flanders. There's a Homer, bang. There's a Homer, bang.
Well, yeah, but a Homer is, according to both Zombielands, is a dumbass. It just.
Zombieland. Oh, duh. I'm sorry. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay.
What I'm saying would be ironic would be the fact, like VileMike said, she kills all the zombies. Okay, she's supposed to be this blonde bimbo badass. But all of a sudden, here comes Homer out of nowhere that she doesn't even detect. And he comes up and bites her ass, and then she turns into the zombie. Finally does. And I would laugh my ass off if that happened. I really would. I think it would be a perfect ending.
No, I think I have it even better.
Okay.
Like in the beginning, a zombie bites Berkeley. And he becomes a Homer.
Oh, yeah.
And the entire time, the entire time, she doesn't realize that he's now a zombie. Right. And because he's a Homer, he's too stupid to bite her. But at the end of the film, she goes in for a kiss to celebrate her victory, and he finally bites her.
And goes, yeah.
and then in a post-credit scene, she's a T-100, or she's a T-800. So now you have Zombie Madison, who can't be killed by anything, that would be followed around by her Homer Berkeley.
Homer Berkeley. That would be perfect ending, dude. Seriously. I would be, seriously, like I said, I'd be laughing my ass off. They'd have to throw me out of the theater because I'd be laughing and screaming. I mean, oh yeah, dude, come on, come on, and she even, like I said, even if you're able to bring about half the cast back, like I said, take Harrelson, Dawson, Brett Breslin, okay, and let's say that Madison knocks all three of them off, and or they all get killed at some point during the film, and it's all down to Madison, and she's the last one. Yeah. Oh man.
No, I think I'd prefer it if they just left her somewhere.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And even funnier, she thinks they did it on accident, but they did it on purpose.
Right. Oh my god. And
that way you can write them out of the storyline and then just have a cameo at the beginning.
Yeah. Sure. Oh man, that's
wow. and that would you could also bookend it by having the scene where she's a T-800. Is you have all the originals trying to kill her, and they're like, fuck, she's a T-800 now? God damn it.
Yeah. Damn it. Oh my god.
By the way, I put some nerd news in the chat.
Okay. Awesome. And what do you think, Mike? Bring back Emma Stone? Bring her back for the third one?
I would say you have to, because Emma Stone she was one of my celebrity crushes back in the day.
Well, one of my nieces knew her when she performed at Dream Stages Theater over in Phoenix, Arizona. So, yeah. So yeah,
Where theater?
Emma Stone, okay. Yeah, we can have her back. Yeah. Okay. So I got my 4. I got my 4 that I want back. I don't want Jesse Eisenberg back. I do want Madison to come back because I think that'd be hilarious. And bring back the other guy. So the hippie guy. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah, definitely. So Eli, who you were this is Elsa Gonzalez, right? With Batman 2 script.
Yeah, Isaac. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the Batman, right? That was the one. Well, what we do own it. That's the one that has Zoe Kravitz and as Catwoman, and Pattinson as Batman.
Yes.
Now, what would you want to bring back Pattinson as Batman for that? Obviously, then.
Yeah, he's going to be in part 2. He played a good Bruce Wayne. I was surprised that he actually put off a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he did. He did do a good Bruce Wayne. I agree with that.
I don't know. I think he did I don't know if I liked him as Bruce Wayne. I think I liked him more as Batman, especially early Batman.
Okay. Now, you guys will think I'm weird, but I think
you are weird.
Okay, thanks. But no, I mean, you're going to think I'm weird when I say this statement. I think that Zoe Kravitz was a pretty decent Catwoman rather than being Selena Kyle. And she wasn't Selena Kyle, right, for very long. So I liked it better as the Catwoman. But you know what? The reason I liked it is because it reminded me of the Batman series. And my favorite Catwoman back then, still always will be, is Eartha Kitt. She was my favorite. She had the purr down perfect. She did everything right. So
okay. If you ever watched what was there was a comic book series where the Zoe Kravitz version of Catwoman, Selena Kyle, she actually fits to a T. But I can't remember the comic book series. I want to say it was either like Year One or Dark Knight Returns or one of the ones where she actually did start off as a hooker / cat burglar.
I think you're talking about Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, you are. Dark Knight Returns. Because there was a fight in the street.
Dark Knight Returns actually introduced her that way. Yes. That's true.
Yeah, she had to intervene, introduce her in the beginning with street fight. She had to have a street fight.
Right. And I can tell you honestly, between her and I can't even believe I'm saying this. Between her and the Anne Hathaway from Dark Knight Rises, there's no contest. Zoe fits the suit. Zoe is the character.
That was one of Anne's worst roles. I'm sorry. She was great in Les Mis, but I'm like, what the fuck is she doing playing Selena Kyle?
She can't.
No.
That was the whole fucking deal. Oh, hell. Even Tom Hardy as Bane was better. Holy shit. I mean, he was better than her. I'm like, come on. Really? Man.
Oy.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, if that wasn't one of the worst miscast roles in the whole Batman franchise as Anne Hathaway playing Catwoman, I don't know what else is. I honestly don't.
I do. Arnold is Mr. Freeze.
Oh, Arnold. Okay. Well, yeah, but come on. I was talking Christian Bale universe, but when you're talking Joel Schumacher universe,
Well,
okay,
you said worse
all right.
For Batman, so I'm like, hey, Arnold, come on, because Mr. Freeze was never a buff physique guy. He was always an older scientist. Come on, trying to save his precious Nora, not some buff physique Mr. Freeze guy. No, fuck that.
Was he okay? But tell me honestly, Elihu, was he worse than Uma as Poison Ivy? Come on now. Let's be honest.
She was overacting.
Oh yes, that's what I'm saying. Arnold couldn't do it. Don't freeze. He couldn't do it very well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay. You. Yeah. That is still one of the craziest lines he says in it. Yeah, he goes, okay, chew.
Oh my gosh.
Kill the heroes, kill the Batman, kill the heroes.
And all of a sudden they have ice skates. I'm like, what the hell? Where do they come from? Where do the blades come from? What the hell? Did they wait to say, okay, hang on, you guys get on blades, and we'll put the blades on our shoes as well, then we'll go fighting. Okay. We got time, blades, okay, everybody on the ice. I'm like, what the hell happened there?
Elihu, they're called bat skates.
Sorry.
That's all I can remember. That's all I can think of. I was like thinking, okay, Albert created shoes specially made so that when they're on ice, they can turn into ice skates. Oh no, they're bat skates. Holy freeze dried, Batman. Yeah, exactly.
No, the best Robin line was, "Hold the metallic rocks, Batman." I was like, "Huh? The rocks? They're metal, full of holes." Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Holy rock, Batman. Oh yeah.
Oh, metallic rocks, Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
I laughed.
That was the best line from both films.
I laughed at that line. That was like the best line.
I muted myself because we had one of the taco or the tortilla vendors driving through the neighborhood, and he's got his music and speaker wailing. So I'm like, gotta close that down.
No problem.
Okay, thanks. No problem, Vile. The other thing I keep laughing at too is would you prefer a sandwich, sir? I'll get dry food. I'll kill her. I'll get dry food. Yeah. That sells for me. Batman goes through a McDonald's. I'll have Big Mac, cup of fries. I'll give me.
Well, I remember the backlash from parent groups that were really upset because Batman 2 or Batman Returns ended up being so much more violent and PG-13 than they were expecting. And I'm just like, it says PG-13. Come on.
It's a Batman movie.
Yeah, come on. And you have Danny DeVito playing the Penguin, which was I think that was a great bit of casting. I really do. I enjoyed him as Penguin. Or Cobblepot. Excuse me. Cobblepot.
And if it wasn't for Danny, Tommy Lee Jones would never took that role.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Danny said it was worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, come on. When you have Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, who's playing his dad, and then you got
who reprises Roland Gotham as who reprises his role as Cobblepot's dad in the Gotham series.
But my immediate reaction had to be in the theater. I said, "Holy fuck, Tim Burton! What did you just do? You just took Pee Wee Herman and turned him into a guy with glasses on who gets horrified when he finds out his kid is a penguin." I'm like, "Holy shit! Are you kidding me?" Oh man, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah. And I was like, okay, it's sold for me. Rubens, yep, nuts, hello. Yeah.
I still love that he reprises Roland Gotham. I'm like, that was great. That was a great choice.
Yeah, but still, I mean, when it comes to next to Zoe though, come on, Michelle Pfeiffer. You can't tell me you're immediately turned on when you watch her in there and she does it all in one take, takes her whip and takes off the heads of the mannequins one by one, all in one
take. I love that.
I know, right? I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer was practicing for weeks. Like I watched the whole backstory, right? Oh, the bat story, you mean the bat stage.
The bat story.
Bat story. The whole, behind the bat scenes and all this stuff. And I was like, wow. Like, how the hell did Tim Burton actually convince, or I should say Vic Armstrong, right? One of the guys, Bob guy or whoever it was too. How did they convince her to be able to do that so well with that whip? Like, she tried, couldn't get anything. And then when it came to take, when she thought she was confident enough, and she was, what? I'm like, oh my God, wow. I'm like, okay, done for me. Hello. Catwoman.
It's kind of like when Bill Murray bowled a perfect 3 strikes in a row in front of a crowd, and he was surprised himself he did that.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Kingpin?
Yeah, those 3 strikes in a row. I'm like, that was perfect. He was not even expecting to do that.
Yeah, he wasn't even.
Yeah, he said he said he was expecting to be there for several hours to try to get several strikes in a row, and boom, 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 and the whole entire crowd erupted.
Yeah, yeah, that was great. That was great with the.
Director was happy. He was happy. He's like, early day.
There you go. That's how complete that was. You're like, all right, yep, that's effective. Yeah. I'll tell you, that I do. When it comes to an actor or actress that can get a scene done in one take, that is where I definitely have the most profound respect for them. Is that they were able to, try so hard and then they get it right the first time. And you don't even have to do it any other times after that.
Well, there is an exception to that rule, though. Jim Carrey. Because if you take one example, Lemony Snicket's. Oh, sorry. What are the? Yeah, Lemony Snicket's. He forgot his line, and he basically said the kid say that again because he was trying to remember his line, and the kid just played in a row. It's like say that again, and it's like he improvised that. I forgot the line he said. Improvised that line, and the kid was just like, okay, yeah, I didn't know what he was doing, so I just said my line again in shock. And Jim was just, he forgot his line. He's like, say that again.
Yeah, I know. They did a whole, I downloaded it in Live. They did a whole thing about Jim Carrey improvising on set. And he gets his lines. Like, there's this line, there's this thing he's supposed to do to a kid in Me, Myself, and Irene. And he goes to grab a kid. And I think he was supposed to say something to him, but he actually makes a misstep. And what he does is instead of grabbing the kid, he goes over and then says something improvised. And they kept it in the final scene. So instead of just grabbing the kid outright and saying something, he just, does something entirely different. I was like, okay. So.
It's like if you look at a Rob Williams script, Mr. Doubtfire, there's like about 15 pages where you see a couple paragraphs that says Robin rips in 5 minutes. That's all it says.
Yeah, there's this behind the scenes. Have you guys seen where he was the voice of everything, well knowledge in AI with Jude Law and Haley Joel Osment? So there's
No.
this whole 15, yeah. So behind the scenes of AI, there's this whole, because Spielberg directed it after, Kubrick died. So what happened was Robin Williams' part, they had this whole 15 minutes where he's saying all these different things as the AI bot, as the who knows all. And it is some of the most funniest things I've ever heard for 15 minutes. It's like everything he was coming up with. Because remember, he did the same thing for Aladdin when he did the voiceover for the genie, and there's this whole segment where
I
he's just saying
know. I want.
on the top of his head.
I know. I want to see them incorporate that into a movie. I'm like, come on! You got an hour and a half, 2 hours of Rob Williams just ad-libbing shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, sorry, Robert, we can't use that. Okay, then he says something else. Sorry, Robert, we can't use that. Say it a different way. Okay, that was nice, but we can't use that way. Say it a different way.
Exactly.
Sorry, Robert, you can't. Sorry, Robert, the G doesn't swear.
Yeah. Well, if they can't make any decent, well, go with my idea here, Elihu. If they can do a documentary of Robin Williams' life and just say the improvisational life of Robin Williams, and just use all the bits that were taken out of all the movies that he would have added lines and things, you could do that easily for 2 hours. You could do a documentary alone on everything that was removed from movies and just incorporate it into the documentary.
Yeah, his estate is kind of holding off on a documentary right now.
Yeah.
His family's like, not right now, not right now.
Not right now.
And I don't even know if Disney would actually allow that footage to be used.
It's not money; they just don't want to do it right now for family reasons. Like, we don't care, but not right now. Yeah, I understand. If it was money, it's like, okay, I understand, but family, cool call.
Yeah, well, they do have a final say, don't they?
Yeah, that's why they said not right now.
Yeah, and his wife. Okay. Thank you. But I mean, it would be a great documentary. I would
You got a jet going by, Mike?
Yep, and I got another one flying over. Part of the problem with living near our Mrs. Vile's house is near the Tijuana airport.
Yeehaw!
So, yeah, it's like I can't escape airports because if I stream from my house, we of course have the Miramar MCAS Miramar. So the jet's over there.
Yeah.
If I go over to the storage area, the storage unit, we have Gillespie Field nearby, which is a smaller airfield, but it's still an airfield. When I was working on Sundays and I was streaming from my store, they had Brownfield over there.
Yeah.
It's like I can't escape airports no matter where I stream.
Hey, you do know why they jump airport fences, the illegals, right? You know why they do that? Because they can't catch the plane.
Sorry, what? I was reading something.
Yeah, I don't get the joke.
It's a joke. I was saying, why do illegals only jump the airport fences? Because they can't catch a plane.
I don't get
it. The jokes like I've told Mrs. Vile is, do you know why Mexico's Olympic team sucks?
Why is that?
Because all their best runners, jumpers, and swimmers are on this side of the border.
Yeah. Okay, I have heard a version of that. Okay, yeah, that makes
sense. Why does Mexico's Navy suck?
Why does Mexico's Navy suck? Why?
Cardboard doesn't really float.
Oh, God.
Wah, wah,
wah.
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
Well, you know what you could take? Okay, take the first 3 letters of Inca, Aztec, and Mayan. What do you get?
Say that again?
Take the first letter from Inca, Aztec, and Mayan, and what do you get?
Men?
No, I am. Like I am Mexican.
Well, technically,
It's an
Aztec.
acronym. IAM. Okay, I is from Inca.
I know, but
A is from Aztec.
Aztec. Hold on, Aztec is a United States creation. The actual people basically called themselves a version of Mexican.
Okay, well, it's just a joke. Like I said, it's give up my joke days. Okay, thanks, Suzanne. Thanks a
Well,
lot.
plus the Inca was South America, not Central America.
Well, yeah, but anything south of the border. Hey, I'm not going just from Latin America.
Wait, are you going MAGA on me and just starting to say like everything south of the border is just a version of Mexico?
It's just another version of Mexico. It's just for the south.
Like I know we were talking about Rob Paulson earlier when MB was on, and there's a version of his countries of the world, countries of the world according to MAGA, and it was United States, Canada, Mexico, 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 all the countries in South America. And when it gets to China, or when it gets to the Middle East, it's China, 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 Russia, 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 Africa, 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 Africa.
Yeah. At one
How
time,
about Mega? How about the one where Yakko's pointing at the world map and goes, everywhere Trump wants to buy, points Canada, America, 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 Greenland, Mexico, Canada.
yeah, I always understood it as North Pole, Arctic Ocean, Canada, North America, Mexico, which is Latin America. Then you got Central America. Everybody's central. Then you got everybody who's down in the south after you go past Panama. Yeah, that's how I understood it. That was my geography lesson. I said, "Oh, well, that makes sense. There's the North Pole, this whole big, huge ass block of ice, and then you got Canada."
There's no ice at the North Pole.
Yeah, there is. There's
not currently right now. There's no ice at the North Pole currently.
Oh, you know why? Because of Al Gore. You didn't listen to him. He told you about global warming. Okay? He told you in 2 movie documentaries and in 2 books, and you still didn't listen to his ass. And now look what you got. Holes in the freaking Antarctica.
According to latest satellite images, there is no ice at the North Pole right now.
I understand. But there was at one time.
Yeah, periodically throughout the year, but not right now.
You're right, exactly. I'm just saying. And there's
it's a constant freezing and refreezing of ice at the North Pole. Sometimes you get ice there, sometimes you get water.
Yeah, but do you guys tend to believe that at one time both the Arctic and Antarctica actually had land masses, like they had trees and grass and all this other stuff before it all turned to ice and
Yeah, it had Antarctica had trees and stuff when it was above the 30th parallel.
Right.
That's before land masses started moving. When it got further and south because of the continental drift
thing, right? Yeah, the Pangea thing.
Yeah, when it got Pangea, then Pangea. When continental drift, when Antarctica started moving south, and it started getting colder and colder, less direct sunlight, and things started freezing up.
Right. Yeah, amazing.
And at that time, the moon was basically about maybe when they started drifting. The moon was about 65, 70 million miles away from Earth, which was so close, which basically locked Antarctica in place.
Right.
Oh, never mind. I did find a version of it, but I can't upload it right now.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for.
Oh, nice.
Oh well. Maybe I'm just going to end the stream a little bit early.
It doesn't matter for me. Market Street's already closed down, which means I got to go 2 blocks out of the way to cross Market Street. Then I got to go back 2 blocks to catch another bus to go to the store. And when I get back, I got to. Normally, it takes me an hour and a half on Sundays to do my dispensary store trip. It's going to take about 3 to 4 hours because of the traffic on buses.
Well, if we leave around noon, it'll probably take me about 4 hours to cross the border.
Yeah.
So
I got
today's
I'll
travel.
go then. Eli and Vile, let's go. Because I got an important call. I got a friend of mine who's going into surgery on Tuesday, and I got to call him. So.
Okay.
Well, let's go ahead and let's do life forms because I don't think we've done life forms in a while.
Okay, let's do life forms.
Life forms, you tiny little life forms, you precious little life forms. Where are you?
That's so funny.
Buy something at SD Game Swap, or I'm going to put all of you in a cargo container and transport you to the Borg.
All right, you're 19 years old now. I figure it's about time you got one after all your complaining.
I still love that one. I'm still ashamed that it took me over an hour to get that effect right.
Oh, what? But you didn't all disappear, right? She only had it on stun, or
No, it was on stun until she changed it to kill.
I just cut it off before I died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys next week. Later, folks.
See you next week. Thanks for having me, Mike and Eliahu. Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Later, all weirdos.